On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Yet we want to talk about hurt feelings. What about your hurt grandma when her house is getting ran up in and her property values can continue to go down? Not because she's being redlined against or it's a white or black issue, but because Ray Ray and Pookie continue to park on the grass in the south side of Chicago, the red zone in Detroit, right? New York, LA, you can't even go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because somehow, some way it's owned by a bunch of other gangs in which they don't even own no property. We always want to continue to champion the worst things for us, but yet we're not supposed to react to what's worse for us when somebody highlights the real issue. And the real issue is that we don't even like our fucking selves, but we asking for respect from other people that don't even look like us. And then we got our hand out in order for them to help us. That's bullshit. It does matter. This is big picture, and this is the stuff that we really need to talk about. And it's funny because I'm the only person that's not the blackety black person on the panel, yet I'm the one that's the most passionate about it. That's ironic to me. I think it is big picture.
And it was like an interview style thing. And he was basically saying, like, you know, white people were wearing these Black Lives Matter shirts like they were doing me some kind of favor. So I just thought, you know, I'm going to return the favor, you know, and wear this T-shirt or whatever. And then he got more into it. But, you know, I don't think it was anything for people to be outraged about, because when it's someone that has an entire team, someone who, you know, themselves is really smart and has been in the game for a long time, it's not just like, oh, I think I'm going to pick a T-shirt today, and then it just happens to be that one. Like, these moves are really strategic. So I don't think it was anything for us to be mad about. That's why I said trivial.
Okay. Little podcast. Trivial, big picture. White lives matter.
How I sound, first of all?
You sound decent.
All right. From his perspective, it's hard for me to say, but from my perspective, it's definitely trivial. I mean, I could care less. I did a whole short about that. Like, you know, how many F's did I give? Counted down from 100 to 0 because I really didn't care about it. At the end of the day, I agree with Mr. Lego as far as the fact that I think it's all about attention grabbing. But I do think the responses are big picture. I think that's what's big picture, is the fact that there's so many people that have been hurt by this shirt. Like, I can understand the arguments that they make, but I think we still have to think past that, right? Because guess what? At the end of the day, somebody said the other day on another panel that they didn't see, you know, white people being mad about black people wearing Black Lives Matter shirts. But I said you did see white people be mad at white people for wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, right? So I think at some point we're just gonna have to address the elephant in the room, which is, why is everybody so crazy about these couple of words? You know what I'm saying? To me, you can argue it either way and make it make sense, but I think when you have to pick a side, you have to pick it logically. And who wants to move through life being, as Anton would say, a victim Olympian?
How were people hurt from the shirts?
They were saying that, you know, he was making a mockery of the Black Lives Matter statement itself, which was that it's not that other lives don't matter, but that the world itself needs to see Black lives as mattering. And that was the point for them even needing to say it in the first place.
So how were people hurt though?
Well, I mean, I wasn't hurt, so I can't argue for the people that was hurt.
You said that there was a lot of people that was hurt, so I'm wondering how people was hurt.
Yeah, I'm just going off what I heard, which was that to them it was making a mockery of the Black Lives Matter slogan itself, which maybe it was. I don't know if that was what Kanye was doing with it. You know, I mean, if you're saying, hey man, listen, Black Lives Matter, and somebody shouts you down like, well, white lives matter, okay, then maybe they're being, you know, inconsiderate. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's what was happening right now with Kanye. Salute to Kanye, though. He's from Chicago, just like me. So,
hey, go ahead, Anton. We'll get your take on this. Like, you had a little bit of disagreement, a little pushback.
Oh, I think it's big picture. I think the whole phrase Black Lives Matter need to be dead, buried, shut down, put under the ground, and never be stated. It needs to be highlighted as a terrorist word, a terrorist phrase, and a terrorist organization going forward. And I think that this is the whole point of it. First of all, it doesn't matter as far as the organization that created it. A bunch of Marxist, fat, lesbian, black women that are more concerned with feminists and alphabet community agendas than they are black people. Secondly, they stole a bunch of money from the communities and then reallocated it so that they can buy real estate and then tried to hide it when they got caught. Third, they're not being questioned. And when did women become the leaders of a community, let alone a whole organization? Fourth, Black lives never mattered to Black people, specifically because it's funny how we don't want to give a reaction to this or Black lives in general, because I don't see anybody when the pandemic ended. And it's funny because everybody was protesting when you were supposed to be 6 feet apart. But I don't see anybody holding accountable anybody that does anything in the Black community. But yet we sit there and we champion and we highlight, in which Candace Owens broke it down and Kanye West broke it down very, very beautifully in both tweets and on their platforms, and highlighting how 40% of the murders, all murders in the United States, and this is a fact, are perpetuated by Black people, which is only 13.6% of the population. Yet we want to highlight how Black lives matter, but we don't even want to get our own households in order. We don't even want to live in our own communities. We don't even want to align with the people in our own households and then make sure that we marry the people that we actually say that we have love for. We don't build up strong communities. We don't hire each other. We don't hold each other accountable as far as the no snitching laws. We champion the things that's the worst for us, including rap music. We requote and we highlight the lyrics, including this whole dumbass Saucy Santana and Trina song, in which this is the epitome of Sodom and Gomorrah. Really, it's the Black community that's Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's funny because the people that stand up most, hire, put on for, make sure that they champion the thing that actually is best for us, are the ones that we hate the most. And it's because they put on a t-shirt, yet we don't hold accountable the people that actually do the worst things for us, which is every last one of these people, including the people that killed P&B Rock. We killed Young Dolph. Every month there's a new popular rapper that's dead, and there's no other community or music genre in which we see this in. But yet we want to talk about hurt feelings. What about your hurt grandma when her house is getting ran up in and her property values can continue to go down? Not because she's being redlined against or it's a white or Black issue, but because Ray Ray and Pookie continue to park on the grass in the south side of Chicago, the red zone in Detroit, right? New York, LA, you can't even go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because somehow, some way it's owned by a bunch of other gangs in which they don't even own no property. We always want to continue to champion the worst things for us, but yet we're not supposed to react to what's worse for us when somebody highlights the real issue. And the real issue is that we don't even like our fucking selves, but we asking for respect from other people that don't even look like us. And then we got our hand out in order for them to help us. That's bullshit. It does matter. This is big picture. And this is the stuff that we really need to talk about. And it's funny because I'm the only person that's not the blackety Black person on the panel, yet I'm the one that's the most passionate about it. That's ironic to me. I think it is big picture.